Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Ranking Member. This is an important hearing. Thank you to our witnesses for being here. I'm hopeful that we see a productive summit. I, for one, view it as historic and important to be taking these steps. However, we know that the Kim regime does not negotiate in good faith, and I think many of us are optimistic but worrisome. Regardless of the outcome of the summit, I, for one, will continue to urge the administration to use every possible economic and diplomatic solution to find answers and bring us forward. As I've listened to your testimonies and the questions of my colleagues, I sometimes feel like we've got a cultural thing here in America where we want to solve everything immediately, and we hope that one summit or two summits has this magic ability to solve it. So I'm curious from both of your perspectives, not whether we're on the cusp of solving this, but how do you see the trajectory? Are we improving and moving in a good trajectory? I guess that's my simple question. Governor first and then Dr. Cha.
Well, the trajectory is going to depend a lot on the results of this summit, this upcoming summit, starting today or tomorrow. My hope, Congressman, is that there be substantial progress on the denuclearization issue. You talked about long range. I think it was unrealistic for anyone to expect North Korea to denuclearize completely. They always have, and if you look at that language, they've said it in the agreement with Clinton, with Bush, and they never do it. Now, is there a trajectory that is more positive? I think we've underestimated Kim Jong-un. I think in the end, and I'm not praising him, I'm saying his vision is in exchange for lesser, some dismantling of nuclear weapons. He wants American investment. He wants European investment. He wants infrastructure. He wants energy, a new grid. And so the trajectory is in that direction. His father, I think, was more of a, I won't call him, he was more of a negotiator. He used to say, okay, well, you want this prisoner back from the United States? Send President Clinton to pick him up. You know, things like that. And
I hate to push you, but I'm going to be short on time, so let me move on.
So I think if we look, starting, Congressman, from 2017, there were 20 North Korean ballistic missile tests and a hydrogen bomb test. And we were moving military assets to the region. I mean, it was a really scary time. I mean, since then, we've gotten the diplomacy, we've gotten no more testing by the North Koreans. I just came back from South Korea about 10 days ago, and there's a completely different view now in South Korea. Everybody says the war is over. Like, why don't we just admit the war is over? So I think there has been certainly a positive trajectory since 2017, but as the governor said, the key piece is we really need to see tangible steps on denuclearization coming out of this summit, because this has to be a road to somewhere, right? And so that's the key piece.
Let me kind of follow up on that. We almost exclusively talk about denuclearization, and yet we've said in this hearing today that Japan could be hit by long-range ballistic missiles. Is it a mistake not to have a broader scope than just denuclearization?
No, I agree that it must include ballistic missiles, not just the long-range ones, but also the shorter and medium-range ones.
As well. What is there culturally that Americans need to understand that would help us better understand this process? I mean, the two cultures, right, are very, very different. I mentioned earlier, ours is one of immediate expectations and things like that. What is there culturally that Americans could better understand that would help us get our arms around this process?
Well, from my experience, from my experience, they negotiate totally differently than we do. Their idea of a concession is they think they're always right. It's a deity that guides them, the father, the grandfather, Kim Jong-un. And their idea of a concession is they'll give you a little more time for you to get to their point of view. That's their idea of a concession. They always want you to go first. You make the concession, and then we'll, we'll see about whether we reciprocate or not. They're deeply suspicious of us, totally. I mean, they think if they disclose where their weapon sites are, we're going to bomb them. I mean, there's just been there several times. It's just
Fortunately, I am out of
world.
time. Let me thank both of you and yield my time back.